Okay, now for a bit of maths, we are going to look at adding fractions. So when we add fractions, what we need to remember is that a fraction is part of a whole. So for instance, when something is split into thirds, we can represent that by drawing any shape that is split into three. Now, obviously, a third would represent an equal part, but in this case, a rough diagram is going to help us. So, in this instance, we have 1/3 and we are adding 1/3 to it. So, if I shade in 1/3, that should represent the third that I already have. Then I'm going to add 1/3 to it. So, what that shows is that of my whole, I now have 2/3 of it shaded. So 1/3 add 1/3 equals 2/3. Now, in the second example, I have 2/3 and I'm adding a further 2/3 to it. So if I was to draw it, I'm starting with 2/3. Now, we come to a problem where actually, if we add 2/3, I only have 1/3 free. So, that means that I need to draw another one to be able to add 2/3. So 1/3 there, add another one. Now, there's two ways we can now say this. We can either say that as a total, we have 4/3, which we do. That, however, would be an improper fraction. What I'd like is to be able to express it as a mixed number. A mixed number represents whole numbers and fractions. Now, if we go back to our diagram, we can see that I have one whole shape shaded. Therefore, that would be 1. And then on the second shape, I have 1/3 shaded. 1/3. We can look at the number as well, and we can see that actually, we know that 3/3 would be one whole. So if I have 4/3, I can see that I have one whole plus one additional one. So again, one whole and 1/3. Now in this example, my denominators are different, okay? Now that's not useful. I cannot add a third to a sixth. However, I can see that there are 2 3s in 6. So if I was to draw my thirds, and I was to draw my sixths, I can see that actually, why can I not just double that? So if I had 1/3, which would be that, it actually equals 2/6. Okay, so let's have a look at that. Let's convert that. So I'm multiplying that by 2. And what we say is whatever we do to the bottom, we have to do to the top. So 3 times 2 is 6. 1 times 2 is 2. So I have 2/6. And I'm still adding it to 4/6. Okay, here's my diagram. So I've got 2/6 now. Add 4/6 to it. 1, 2, 3, 4. Actually, what I can see is that 2/6 add 4/6, it fills up one whole. Therefore, the answer is 6/6 or one whole. There we go.